here. A little bit of agency, sorry, a lot of agency and a little bit of that carry potential, which we didn't see a ton of from Sorrow in the Demacia Cup.
This FPX is kind of getting circles ran around him right now. Milky Way will get spotted, but he's about to have almost 30 like a 30 advantage from the jungle, which is pretty massive when you do think about how many camps that means.
Get him that opportunity, or Xiaozu in the top side there. Getting pushed in a little bit could set up a position for them up there. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we see Jue dash in here with the Pop Blossom. Stuns up too. There goes Sorrow, and that's first blood for bot. Another teleport coming in from both mid laners as Tangyuan and Care join the party. That's going to be all she wrote there on this one, unless they try to find something here in a 4v2. Care uses the ultimate to get away, and it looks like that should be it. Meanwhile, on the top side, we did see Milky Way go for a gank. Of course, always important before you go for one of these major objectives. As Milky Way now making his way towards the mid lane as well. Finds the stun onto Sorrow, and Lola going to go forward here with that ultimate as well.
Oh,
they find the Nico. Yanked right back in by bot, but those are some crucial cooldowns used by both sides. Sorrow without flash, and bot without the Fate's Call.
Well, they still have the Nico ultimate, so that is something that they can look for. Sheer is looking for a teleport after he finishes recall. Xiaoshu is on his way. The top laner should arrive at the same moment, but it's those big ults. I'm looking at what Tangyuan can do with this command shockwave.
Be a very big cooldown that has not been used. Xiaoqi and Lola have both utilized their R buttons right now, and that is why FPX have been able to take control of this Dragon Pit for now. They're trying to zone out Xiaozu. Want to make sure he does not get into the fray. Sheer doing a good job to zone. Now it's a 50-50 and a 4v4. Who's going to find the smite? It will be FPX as they pick up their second Dragon of the game. But now the re-engage here for RNG could be big. But on the other side, it's Shui with the Pop Blossom. Now Sorrow over the other side as well, looking to lock down Tangyuan on a Shockwave. Just issued way too late, and it could be a big wipe here for FPX. They get 5 just for Jue.
It's the second Dragon as well. FPX make a huge team fight win.
The potential for them to be upgraded later into the game. So the big time that you see that major power with the feats of strength is not actually until we get much later into this game.
That's a heartbreaker right there. You saw like the turret goes down maybe 2 seconds after the Herald. They were trying to say, look, we have Trinity Force Jacks, we have the 6 Grubs, maybe we can try to go for this. And they do end up getting 2 turrets, so this lane is going to be very long.
I think if you're FPX, you're hoping that it's a lot of carries, a lot of ability to kind of impact the map in these side lanes. K'Sante able to do that a little bit here, but mostly just used for the team this time around. Care dodges away from the arrow once again, as looks like RNG trying to overload on this top side. You see the Otacon camp will be now spawning in about 3 seconds as we hit the 20-minute mark. It will be on the top side, as that is where the game has determined the most action so far on the map has been. And I believe this is the...
every single game we've had here in the LPL. We have not seen a ruinous one.
Well, I guess especially in pro play when things are a little bit safer, I would say, although the LPL has been known to buck that trend from time to time.
We're talking about it potentially being anybody's game for a second spot.
Yeah, and right now FPX looking in control of this game, but of course, best of 5, still a lot of League of Legends left to be played. Rift Herald spawned in the mid lane here by FPX. They're going to try to break open this tier 1 tower. Don't know if Sheer has the Demolish or even wants to try to get close enough to proc it, but they're at least going to get a good chunk down, and I'm actually going to finish off the entire thing with the help of that.
Wow. Milky Way's not one of them, but...
You're right. We got FPX starting up this Otacon buff. Looks like RNG do want to contest. Again, likely having to start with Milky Way. He's the strongest player on their team, but they're not getting anywhere close. And there's already bot with the Kalista taking down the Otacon. Now it's Sorrow diving all the way in on the back line, looking to lock down the Ashe, but it goes a little bit too far forward. But his team is there to back him up. Pops the stopwatch just in time. The Aurora will get the first kill. Xiaozu now stuck in the middle of everybody, and 2 kills on top of that neutral objective secured for FPX.
Like 5 blood petals, which is 100 experience. It's not that much.
So overall, like, picking up that objective, very, very strong right now in this current meta.
Yeah. We're doing Baron on spawn, basically. This is 25-50.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I got to get used to the timing of these things. But as we kind of are alluding to at this point, FPX fully taking control of this game number 1. It started in RNG's favor.
It's talking about all that best of 5 work that you have to be able to put in here. And So far, we've got every version of a best of 5 so far, or almost everyone. We've got, I think when I was looking at predictions earlier for the series from some of the talent on the show, people were feeling this might be going to 5.
Yeah,
I don't really remember yours.
I had a 3. I had a 3 too. Hopefully we get some close games.
Okay.
This one not looking like one of them right now, but we do see a nice push from
a soul here for this team, and after the Baron, they can look for a lot of fights.
Well, you see RNG still hunting, still fishing. Gonna have to come through with that Ash Arrow. Yazu coming in with the TP as well, but with the extra indication, they're able to get away pretty easily.
Oh.
And now Care and Sheer move their way towards the mid lane inhibitor turret. Going to be able to break open the first tier 3 of the game for themselves, while also Bot and the rest of FPX can take down this tier 2 down bottom lane. Fate's Call comes out from Bot, doing a ton of damage here with those spears coming in. Ren not going to be enough, and they're just going to buy their time. Continue to let these waves crash in, take as many of these objectives as possible.
I can't believe the team with 6 grubs is getting actually ran around the map right now. It sucks to see, because Herald and kind of all these objectives, the grubs is a win more objective. If you are already a great spot, it's going to continue to accentuate your strengths. But if you're never actually able to hit
Milky
those
Way,
turrets,
he looked for a flank, instead going to get caught up by the Pop Blossom as well. As the cease and desist here from Sorrow, Bot picks up the kill. And the star jungler for RNG is down to his old
RNG,
team,
come
looking
on.
for something. Nice shockwave comes out from Tangyuan. Bot is low, will get shut down here by Jakchi. But I don't think it's going to matter. The all-out is coming through from Sheer. He's very tanky here on this front line so far. It is a 3-for-2 in FPX's favor, with Tangyuan and Jakchi trying to find some way to save this game. Ultimate comes out from Care. He uses the dash to go forward, and he goes right underneath the Nexus turret, and that could prove costly. Jakchi picks up the kill, and FPX went 3-for-3 underneath their own tower. Now they're going to need to try to defend this Chemtech Soul that is about to spawn. They are making their way up there, and this time the Enchanted Crusader does find Care. Glacial Fissure comes out. Care will be able to escape without losing too much of his HP. And so now it's RNG without that crucial cooldown. Both ultimates on their bottom laners are down.
Oh, RNG, I think you just need to push. You can give up. Like, yes, you lose the soul, but if you lose this fight, you're going to lose the game anyway.
HP, Jway coming in, locking down the main. Carries TP. Is it fast enough? Not yet. Tangyuan finds a shockwave onto 3. The soul's already claimed. Bot and Xiaoshu trying to find a 1v1 down there. Milky Way will fall. It's a double kill here for Sorrow, and that is the ace that you alluded to, Hawk. FPX winning the fight, once again only losing their support. They're sending both teleports out to the mid lane to claim game 1 of this best of 5.
Bot's going to try to reconvene with them through the mid wave. You have Sorrow pushing as well. RNG, it looked good in the first 15 minutes, but your lack of proactivity and the lack of kind of in-game shot calling, we didn't get to see them actually start fights very often, leads to FPX. They have all the go buttons, all the go tools, the agency is in their back pocket with these kits, and they're going to take a pretty resounding Game 1 victory.
Final pick here for Jway, as you mentioned, will be that Rakan to round out a very solid overall composition for FPX. You got a lot of engage and a lot of really solid team fighting. Passion,
2022?
discourse back in the day. 2022, yeah.
When was Worlds in New York? It was 2022 or 23? All right, yeah, we're back, boys. We're back to healing runes. All right, let's see if they can maybe get this dive down. Miniwave's in a bad spot, though. They've already cleared it out. I think it's a pretty tough
but they walk right in, and that's
RNG.
going to just be an easy kill. Lola finds the dredge line without even having to go under turret, and Jway will fall. First blood, RNG.
That's a feat, and they're going to go for this dive. Jakchi is going to look for something under this turret. They still have the Nautilus.
With Lola. Now Sheer, still very tanky. Remember, he's going that tank build, still alive, but finally will go down with Jakchi claiming that one. So 2 kills here in the early game for RNG. This is a much better start than Game 1.
Okay, so they get the first.
Meanwhile, you know how we were joking about the Lucian build coming through for Care? Looks like we weren't really joking. That's going to be a Hall of Radiance first item, as now Bot's in some trouble once again on the top side. Lola starting the engage. Nice kick from Milky Way, and Jakchi will claim the kill. 3-0 RNG.
3 kills going over to Jakchi. This bot. Yeah, I just don't know why he's staying there, right? Like that's definitely an 80 carry moment where it's like, one more wave, guys. I need to get this. If I get this one more wave and the enemy doesn't, then I'm way stronger than him. But you know Lee Sin is on the top side. You just had the junglers contesting for Raptors. For RNG, it'll mean that they'll get the boot-in chance, and for FPX, they'll have to get for another turret here. Although RNG might even just skip that. They're just going to get first turret.
For FPX, this turret should be gone with this Demolish proc here from Lola as well, potentially, but they're going to let Jauchi finish it up. That is the feats of strength this time for RNG.
Probably be a top 12, top 9 team if they're really overperforming, and anything higher than that really has to come back off the back of maybe some breakout players like this bottom lane with Jauchi doing in work. Xiaoxu's always been a player that I think has been a great middle of the pack top laner for the LPL, but they're going to need to kind of raise a lot of the questions around specifically this mid-jungle duo, as Milky Way has shown that level of performance, and Tangyuan, at least within the last couple of years,
this is
the
first
really
real aggressive play from FPX, and it might go back and bite them in the butt. Milky Way coming in with a beautiful potential response. Jauchi picking up kill number 4 for RNG, and now Xiaoxu in the back line as well, using the ultimate, maybe going a little bit too far forward though. Bullet time comes out. Nice dodge here from Xiaoxu to prevent himself from going down for a little bit. Bot finally gets the first kill for FPX, but Milky Way's gonna make him pay.
Oh my god, Milky Way!
Survive, finally goes down to the burn, but allows enough time for RNG to clean up the rest of the kills.
Those are the hands that I was talking about and that we were looking for RNG. Great job coming in from Morel Never Give Up. A great fight from them, but they have no vision inside the pit, and they haven't really gotten anyone in this area, so unless he's going to go over the wall, there's no one here. Sorrow now is going to get started. They're going to try and look for this this Wukong. Collapse into the base. Sorrow has no flash. He just uses the Trickster to get over it. And 5,000 HP, maybe they can go for a reset here.
Went way too far forward, had tunnel vision onto the Wukong, and is going to pay for it with his life. Sorrow picking up that kill as Lola thought that he could just continue to run that Wukong down, but the rest of the squad pulled up and said, not today.
Milky Way, does he go for the steal? He has the Q. Everybody's abandoning him, so it'll just be the junglers by themselves.
Look at the damage from Bot, though. On the other side, look at the collapse on that end by FPX. Bot took a lot of damage, but is able to claim the kill as Sorrow and FPX now make their way towards the dragon with the numbers advantage.
Xiaoxu, you got to be very careful. They're going to just go for a smite fight here.
Milky Way jumps in. Could be a 50-50. Could be a one-way trip as well. Uses the kick to try and get Sorrow away. Now looking to try to get back in, but FPX do a beautiful job of bursting down the Lee Sin before the dragon gets into smite range, so they're able to claim a 2-for-1 in terms of objective and kill.
Grapes, just why? Why are we doing this from RNG? I mean, great escape from Sorrow right there, utilizing the vision very, very well. We saw it actually earlier on in this game when he was kind of slinking around the bottom side jungle and then Bessa was looking for him. But Sorrow gets out, is able to actually turn it into a kill onto Lila, and then they start up the dragon. They find a huge pick onto Jauchi, which is amazing. Also get a summoner spell out from him. And then Milky Way, like, for RNG, it just feels like they're kind of trickling into these fights, and now they're just making just big mistakes. Mordekaiser, or his old name, basically, he kind of just walked up to the demon and was like, yeah, bro, I'm going to give you these hands, and then you're going to become mine. So Otacon is a pretty cool being. He also had the LOR card spotlight for a long time, similar to Yone, actually. Oh wow. Milky Way, no!
Might not be RNG getting Otacon, though, as Milky Way getting caught out, but on the other side, Sorrow taking a bunch of damage, and it's Jauchi picking up the kill. Sheer now caught by the Chain of Corruption, and this Varus is going off. It's going to be Jauchi picking up the first, Xiaoxu picking up the second, and after Milky Way was the one initially caught out, it's him going towards Otacon and looking to take it down.
Okay, and FPX, as a response, instead of contesting for this objective, let's see how many turrets we can get in response. Even a dragon here. It's going to take a while for RNG to finish this. Only now starting up the dragon. They're a bit too far right now as RNG, but that's the voracious Otacon going over. So they have a GA for the next couple of minutes. Can they utilize it, and how are we going to see them use it in this game? As, I mean, just having the ability to kind of force out summoner spells, my instinct immediately as RNG is within the next 3 minutes, I want to try to force out Bot from having his flash and cleanse. And let's see if they're able to kind of accomplish that goal.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting mechanic.
Prone to some more aggressive actions, although that was mostly a Demacia Cup only feature. He's been a little bit more reserved, but keeping some of that strong laning phase for himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to play safe, especially, first of all, because that's the champion that he's playing, Misfortune. Not necessarily one to flash forward early in a fight, but also with Sheer going to tank build, Care also with the, the Hollow Radiance, now looking like a Frozen Heart third. Bot's like most of the damage right now for this FPX roster, and they're going to have to try to do something around this Baron that is now spawning. RNG the ones obviously to get there first. It looks like they're more trying to force a fight than actually take this all the way down.
Yeah, we're waiting to see what exactly they're able to get. They don't have a ton of vision on flanks as well. Sheer's just now coming. It looks like they want to try to make a play onto this Jace, but he's way too tanky. 3,000 HP, just finished the objective, guys.
Okay, well, they're going to pull actually straight off of it. Bullet time gets interrupted by Zaozu with the ulti. On the other side, the Cyclone is big, but it's not big enough. Tong Yuan taking over this fight, and Jachi left untouched for now. Sheer looking to try to collapse on top of him, but he does not do nearly enough damage. Finally, Care will be able to take him down, but Tong Yuan will answer right back. It is an ace for RNG as they take firm control of this game at 26 minutes.
The big damage dealers for RNG come up clutch in that fight. Great job from Tong Yuan, and that was kind of the fight that I was expecting coming in from draft. Bot just has
right now. It would be a fun 1v1 to watch for sure, even though of course the KDA might not suggest that it's going to be.
41% damage share for his team, and Milky Way with 100% KP. I don't think we're going to have a lot of time to do tons of setup.
Hold on.
It's going to be the Baron started.
Yeah, they're starting up the Baron. They're trying to force the initiative down about 7,000 gold. Milky Way in position to go for a steal, but the Baron right now at only about 5,000 HP. Who's going to jump into the pit first, start that fight? Looks like Milky Way could find an angle right now, make it a 50-50 potentially as both junglers are in the pit. It will be secured though by FPX. Now can they win the fight on the other side? I don't think so. Already a 2-0. Jachi has a lethal tempo unlocked. Milky Way jumps over the wall, trying to find another one. Sonic Wave does not connect onto Sheer, but they slow him down. The cripple will do. 3 kills, 4 kills in trade for the Baron. RNG still on top.
FPX, you already committed yourself to going for the Baron. RNG were able to get the Dragon and still win out on the team fight there. So missing out on the Purple Worm, but not too sad about the result of that last fight. Barreling down mid here. Death timers are pretty long. I wonder if they're just going to try and go for it. It doesn't seem like they're going to. It said picking up the inhibitor, going to go for their resets from here, maybe steal a couple more jungle camps. And Grapes, we might just have a 1-1 series here, one that we were expecting considering where these two teams are at currently and the level of performance we are looking towards.
Yeah, again, so much on the line here for this series. You're out of the group stage. You could be done with your winter split after just playing 3 best-of-5s. So this is one that must be won by both teams in order for them to have a shot.
So we get to take a look at just the very end of this play. I mean, I feel bad for Both, but we prescribed this from draft. This is a very difficult Misfortune game to do. And without more guaranteed crowd control, it's just it's kind of just tough to play.
Oh, we got a little Silas Kali 1v1. Care's actually winning out on that one pretty handily down there as we see the finale of that team fight win for RNG. Thankfully, Tong Yuan able to get back to base rather decently, able to survive. And Care, the only one with the Baron buff, is able to take advantage. You get, I guess, if the boot upgrades are really overpowered, then you definitely should see them maybe a little bit earlier on. Because the Baron buff wasn't secured by RNG, though, it means that it's going to take a little bit of time for them to really close this game out. FPX know this and are looking to be just a tad aggressive as they are awaiting this Dragon to spawn. It would be Soul for FPX if they pick it up, so obviously they're in the mood to potentially try to fight this out.
Only the mid laners for both teams are missing their summoner spells, at least for their flash, so this is going to be as even as a fight as it's going to get for FPX. They've got items. Xiaoshu is nowhere near this area right now, so if they find any kind of pick, it is a good start to this, but Sorrow no longer having the Cyclone means that's going to be a tool gone away from FPX as this Dragon gets started.
Yeah, full onus of the engage has to go his way, but he's the one actually just targeted out first by Lola, able to escape not using that quickness just yet. Meanwhile, Jachi is just one-shotting Sorrow with the Blight stacks. And on the other side of the fight, it's Jiaozu and Tong Yuan, the assassin duo, just obliterating the backline of FPX. 4 kills for nothing. FPX just slaughtered. RNG don't even need to take this dragon. They could just TP straight into the enemy base and even up this series at 1 game apiece.
Solo laners for RNG are going to get it done at the end of the day. Great job in that last team fight to find bot immediately. Sorrow gets picked out. And while Kara is sitting here trying to win with the Ahri, you could just drop the Unraveled Earth. It's very difficult for her. And you look at what RNG have, they're going to have to be stepping into this Unraveled Earth. All of these pebbles right there to kind of either set up like Tong Yuan, he's going to have a similar window. 1 and 2 items for Ahri is really where she kind of gets into her stride. Eventually, she can pick up enough AP to kind of do some more. See this dive onto top lane.
RNG going for an aggressive dive at the top side. Sheer had no chance of getting meta or Mega, and Milky Way just runs straight into the tower and says, I'll take that first blood to RNG. On the other side, Sorrow making a play towards Lala and Jachi on FPX's side, and it will be Dre landing the final blow. So both teams, both junglers, making plays on opposite sides of the map.
You saw it right there. Everyone stopped auto-attacking, and then as you through the wave, as well as then having that slow, which is so dangerous for a Jinx. You're already kind of missing out on damage. You really want that positioning now. Walking straight into this Thresh.
Yeah,
gotta be careful. They can turn this now.
Right there. Crashdown doesn't connect onto anyone. Meanwhile, Care, that's stuck in a 1v2. The Unraveled Earth does slow Milky Way down. The Wind Becomes Lightning does not connect, but Tong Yuan has the ultimate first. Spirit Rush will take him down.
Oh, man. They were already starting that. We saw that Milky Way had kind of really in a pretty tough spot.
So right now, very clear dichotomy of the map. Top lane, top side, sorry, in favor of RNG. Bot side in favor of FPX, albeit very slightly, especially because bot was not the one to claim that first kill on the bottom side of the map. So overall, RNG feeling pretty comfortable about where things are at as long as they can survive this play down here. Weaver's Wall comes out from Care. This time he has his ultimate. It's going to be flashed away from here by Jachi and Lala, but Lala will be the sacrificial lamb, and bot finally gets on the board.
And while they do survive, losing the flash and the cleanse from Mirofeli
to extend the gold gap separating these two teams. FPX in a good spot down there. RNG know it. They're trying to do something about it potentially with Milky Way and Tong Yuan headed down there for the bottom side for a second, but immediately opting instead to focus on the mid lane potentially as Care could be in some trouble now. Gets hit by the charm. Nice combo in terms of damage. Just no opportunity for Care to do anything, especially without his flash.
Great punishment. Like you were just saying, they knew he didn't have the summoner spell, so they go immediately for that kill.
Assisted by Tong Yuan for the third, and also allowing for RNG to have prime positioning around this.
Oh, they're just going to try to force for it.
That whole next major objective, and yeah, they're going to win this race easily, especially because they got such a big head start. So FPX might be able to get some plates on the other side in response, but that is already RNG, I believe, picking up that feats of strength for themselves.
Yeah. And the teleport comes in. I mean, you've got Lila here as well. Xiaoxu should be able to pick up the rest of this wave. Dragon, I think, should be here for FPX. I mean, for RNG. Milky Way, you're in the position for it. If FPX are not able to get either a kill or maybe force some more summoner spells out from this, is a huge win for RNG.
So they are overloading towards this top side of the map and just not able to find anything. Xiaoxu pops the ultimate. Lola throws out the Dark Passage, and just nothing comes of the 4-man play of the top side of the map. So Milky Way now able to pick up this dragon as well. I think you can make it 3-0 in terms of the feats of strength, although that doesn't necessarily add anything. Rocket, just not nearly in time.
Yeah, doesn't end up...
Haven't seen too many big plays so far. We'll see, of course, what he looks like in the team fights once he hits Mega, plays with that timer and things like that. But right now it's been Xiaoxu kind of dominating this lane.
So this is the nerd in me, and we'll see as they're trying to go for the setup with the teleport here from Tong Yuan around the mid lane. There's no objective to play for. Oh, it is the Herald spawning in 20 seconds. But I kind of want to see if I know they can't know, but I need the Chinese observers to please click on Jiachi, because I want to see if he is going for like the lethality maxing out Aphelios build, so like going for Emax second, or if this is just going to be a normal, pretty standard game from him. I kind of want him to be targeted so I can see how much attack speed he has, because he only really has the Berserker Greaves as his boots or in choice in terms of attack speed. So. But that build is really dangerous, especially since there are some tanks. Alongside this Collector, you have so much armor penetration early. It is something to think about.
RNG looking like they want to try to fight for this Rift Herald, but a really nice Weaver's Wall separates Milky Way from the rest of his team. Thankfully, the Crescent Guard allows him to mitigate a ton of that damage sent out by Care. Now Tangyuan flash dashing over the pit, finds the charm just onto Sorrow, and Sorrow is taken down. That's the jungler for FPX out of the picture as the Rift Herald is alive.
Does Tangyuan go for it again? Doesn't land the charm this time, but Herald is up and available. This has been a really well-played game coming in yet again. Milky Way utilizing that ultimate makes it so it's impossible for FPX. And now they're just playing in a fog.
And it's played beautifully combined with Lola. Joey is able to get out safely though, and there's Sheer hitting Meganar and landing a two-man stun into the wall. Now stuck in a 1v3 though, just out there a little bit too quick before the rest of his team can respond. Joey trying to buy some time with the Max Storm. Bot does not have much mana. Jachi's flashing over the wall, and Milky Way's there to help him out as well. It's a double kill for Jachi, and RNG take firm control of this game in the topside river.
That's a huge fight here, and now Sheer just too far. At this point, you need to be able to call back the troops and find your way back into this fight, but Bot has to overextend himself. Tangyuan's in a great spot to pincer the rest of this fight, and FPX just look a little lost in this game, and that is kind of the criticism we've had for both of these teams, both here in the LPL and in Demacia Cup so far this year, is their leadership, their in-game shot calling has not been the cleanest.
And that is what cost them last game, and what could cost them this one. Around 4,000 gold is the lead. Get some of it back with Sheer taking out tower down on the bottom side of the map. But all of a sudden, that lead that we were talking about for Bot, it's all gone. Partly because, you know, Jachi was able to get a bunch of kills in that fight, but also that's a hull breaker here on the Jinx, so not going to be doing a ton of damage, especially in these team fights.
So hull breaker, yeah, this hull breaker build is really funny because obviously it's like a bunch of just raw AD that you can get for yourself, but it is like a Kraken Slayer Part 2. A long time to kill, especially for some earlier game teams, and it also just shreds your resistances while you're fighting it. So if the enemy team walks up on you and you've been fighting it for like 10, 15 seconds, you're gonna get ran down. So got to be very careful. If FPX can find this opening on this mid-tier 1, I think it opens up a lot for them. They're going to use this to potentially walk down bottom lane and open up for Sheer, buy him time on the map. Send at him, he's more than likely going to have to get hit by it. And with both of the summoner spells up, that's going to be a pretty costly investment. This Scryer's Bloom is going to finally see that RNG have started this objective up. Sheer does have his Meganar coming up, and there's a teleport that is available for him.
Hook from Lola instantly goes in onto the Rel. Remember, with this Otacon buff, if it's picked up, that will result in some resets, and right now FPX doesn't want that to happen, but already the kills are starting to fly. The ultimate from the Gnar does connect onto Jachi. Looks like the FPL is going to live for just a little bit. Meanwhile, we see an engage of junglers on the other side. Finally, Jachi will fall, but on the other side of the fight, Care is taken down by Zatsu. Now, Milky Way looking for some kills in a 1v2, but already low on HP. Sheer really arriving to this fight in a big way and allowing for FPX to pull RNG off the objective for now. Tangyuan and Lola, the ones still in this fight, but they're not going to be in it for long as they head back to base.
Oh, I was so worried right there.
Eventually, that does benefit FPX a little bit because Sheer is able to kind of pick off his targets one by one.
Oh my god. I love that we saw that. Oh, Jachi actually just got... Wait, they found a pick on a Sorrow. Are they going to go for Otacon or are they going to go for Baron? It did just spawn at 20 minutes, and it looks like they're going to go for this Baron instead.
The trade could either be Dragon here for FPX, but they want to go for the fight. They know that they cannot afford to give this up with the lead that RNG already possesses. Zatsu getting spotted out.
There's no Lantern now.
But there's really no way for FPX to even get into this pit. They're going to have to just try to pull off a miracle steal with a Jinx Rocket or something. In comes Sway. Got to find the kill first onto Lola.
There's the resets.
This is excited. This could be a good opportunity for FPX. Sheer not close to Mega, though, and that will allow for Milky Way and RNG to claim the Baron Nashor and go back to base home scot-free.
Now with Sorrow up, I really do feel like FPX, you should be looking to start this objective now. You know that they're going to be missing out on some of their key spells. There's no summoner spells, but big ultimates still here for RNG.
Yeah, so RNG opting not to go back to base instead. Looking to make sure
no flash, he's dead.
Bot is just caught out. No boots, no life for the Jinx. and Tong Yuan is the one to pick up the gold. Moonlight Vigil will only hit onto Sheer. It knocks off the Steric Shield, and that will allow for RNG to pick up another objective on the top side of the map. This Otacon almost assuredly theirs, unless Sorrow can find some sort of steal. Has the Arctic Assault and a Smite available, but Jatsu doing a good job at blocking the Sejuani from getting over the pit. It's Milky Way securing the Smite and RNG up. But after that, they really can't go that much further. But then RNG, they kind of fake out the backs a little bit. That gives FPX the confidence to try to go for this objective.
I mean, for one, this Taliyah ult gets him quite a bit dedge. I mean, it's not quite kind of on top of him yet, but he knows, like, oh, okay, this wall's just going to sit right next to me and not actually stop them. And then Sheer just leaves him alone. They didn't have vision onto where Tong Yuan was, so turns into a kill. And now with this Baron, they're just breaking down turrets. They've got themselves the grubs as well. They've got 3 grubs to help with some of that turret take. Kair's recalling here. I don't think this is going to be the end of the game, but if they find a pick, they probably are going to look for it.
Yeah, Tong Yuan setting up that wave nicely to allow for the rest of his team to immediately join him in the mid lane to take down the second inhibitor of the game now for RNG. Finally, Kair is back. It's going to be a 5v5 under the Nexus turrets if RNG want to start it. Question is, do they want to pull the trigger, or will they just wait for these minions to wear down these towers, play the long game? Looks like they're going to wait, not wait very long, as Tong Yuan forces the flash out of Kair. Moonlight Vigil with the Infernum doing a decent chunk of damage, and the Glacial Prison from Sorrow does not connect. But on the other side, Zhao Tzu getting chunked to half HP, having that Steric Shield pop. That's a decent cooldown, as well as the flash gone for the Renekton. He'll be able to TP back, but that's already one Nexus turret down. Milky Way dashing in, using that Crescent Guard to knock Sorrow away. Gonna have to go back to base with that death, but with the Otacon, it should be enough for RNG to push for the end. The next at half HP, they're just forcing themselves onto the crystal, and it's Zhao Tzu coming back with the teleport.
For them. How can they maximize the amount of gold that we can get someone like Sorrow on this Italy? Because Karthus is not particularly very dangerous in the early game, and you can invade.
With being picked by Zhao Tzu in game number 1, not a possibility. But instead, he's going to be the target on the Aatrox this time around. Tops the world ender, but the rest of his squad has arrived. Jue just gets caught under the turret, and it's RNG picking up first blood.
Uh-oh, so that's it. So Dragon started up here for RNG. They're going to take this objective and maybe look for something in mid. Kair and Sorrow are on their way, but they're walking straight into the arms of RNG.
Lola looking to try and punish here.
There let's go, Lola!
Tong Yuan all the way from underneath his own turret. Kair just goes down. Jachi gets on the board. And so RNG, despite all the shenanigans that have been happening in the jungle, find themselves up 2 kills, up a dragon, up a little bit of gold, and 8. So not too big of a difference in terms of XP right now. The big thing is that Milky Way has the Requiem now, and so we'll be able to impact the map, get a little bit of damage chunks down in any area, no matter if he's farming or part of the gank himself. Next spawn of grubs available. FPX certainly want to pick this up to get themselves closer to that piece of strength. And they're going to start with an engage onto said jungler. Milky Way gets bursted down with the help of Jue, and a big Fate Sealed is going to try to turn things around for RNG. Already 2 are dead on the other side. Jiaozu with the World Ender unlocked will heal a ton, but is not going to escape the wrath of Kair, who now is just eviscerating people with the Gatling gun in the front line. That is another kill for Kair. Bot flashing over. That's the counter aggression we were talking about, but Jachi will answer right back with a kill of his own. The 80 carry duel goes RNG's way. Sheer trying to take him down, and will, despite the rocket jump lumbing through. Tong Yuan flashes over. We got chaos in the mid lane. It's 10 kills
so far in this series. And fun to watch, especially for a region that has produced so many great 80 carries in the past. So only nice to see the new class of marksman players coming on through from the LPL. But for the time being, it's going to be Tong Yuan actually soloing the Dragon for his team. And that'll put them at 2 epic monsters. We have the Dragon spawning in 5. We have Herald in a minute. That right, very easy for him to just walk up and delete a turret. So that right there, got to show a bit of respect to your opponents. And we'll see what the setup for RNG is going to look like. They are constantly just kind of pushing out from mid, utilizing this Tristana to get a bit of mid push. But Herald is now up, and we're going to start to do our little dance.
Not the Baron, but still a big objective, especially for somebody like RNG. You have a lot of turret taking power with the Tristana, with a burst open mid would be huge. And right now it looks like they could be in that position as Jue just gets one shot. It's Lola picking up the kill, but Jachi did most of that work. But he went aggressive around this area just a few minutes ago.
Oh, Sorrow, no!
Sorrow, who might have bit off a little bit more than he could chew, and Xiaozu flashes in with the World Ender and picks up the first reset of the fight for RNG. Care backs away. We'll be able to play these front and back team fights correctly with bot.
They're going to get their turret here.
FPX in a good position, but right now it is RNG leading the charge, setting the pace of this game number 4. They trade towers. Care's able to pick it up.
Wait, who got it first, though?
No.
Oh, sorry. That they're going to be looking for this. You have Otacon spawning in 20. You have Dragon that is now available, but you have Grubs. Any bit of damage you either do to champions near a turret or just hitting the turret, you should be able to evaporate this. And it's a cannon minion wave. Just look to trade this objective. You'll be stronger potentially on maybe that 4th Dragon. Tangyuan is finishing this objective by himself here.
Yeah, and I don't think FPX really realized it until now with that smart being placed. Looks like now
Milky Way
is the option. Milky Way gets caught. He still has the passive, and the Requiem will come out, but that's a big member of RNG dead. Tangyuan in trouble. The Dragon is still alive, and that means that FPX could claim it if they win this fight. Jachi's still alive. So is Xiaozu. Lola looking for potentially an escape route, but not going to find it. Sorrow picks up the kill. It's 3-0 FPX, and they're not done yet. Jachi has to flash away from the Lily Spear, and Tier 2 is now on the menu for FunPlus Phoenix. Screw the Dragon, they're headed towards Otacon.
Oh my god. Milky Way, we gotta flash these objectives, man. Come on. We can't just be letting the Leona ults land on us. The first time, fine, I can get it. Maybe the hitbox looked a little strange, but that time, dead on to rights. Milky Way gets caught. It ends up being a huge fight for them. Like you said, not going for the Dragon. I think you're perfectly okay with just trading for a voracious Otacon buff in your back pocket here. It's going to be RNG finding themselves at Soul Point here, but that buff is just too OP, and we'll see what they're able to do.
Able to get out of these fights just a little bit earlier. So instead, FPX have the Otacon buff. I'd imagine they really try to force hard for these next couple of minutes when they have this revive available to them. They don't necessarily need the Baron to push that, to have the good push, because they have double marksman here to clear these waves out. Tier 2 now on the menu. Looks like RNG gonna try to find a response.
Got hit again!
But they already have Milky Way chucked to half HP.
They hit him with a spear and another Leona ult. And this is more of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because if you're Milky Way and they found another engage on you and they potentially look to try to snowball that into a team fight victory, then you're in a situation where it's, do I flash and potentially not have it now that they have Otacon buff? Or do I just say, look, if you find the engage on me, I'm just going to have to tank it. You have the Otacon buff. We just have to outweight this.
And so, you know, with this Baron now spawning in about a minute or so, there's no more revive buff, but FPX still, I think, want to play aggressive here. They want to force RNG's hand while they have a lead.
5 grubs, might as well walk up on this turret, and it evaporates like paper. So, they're just trying to get so much damage. Man, Sorrow from Fog of War is just throwing spears and finding HP to take from RNG. And they've got another mini wave cannon this time. Just walk up, get those Void Mites down. Tangyuan has been trying to find some answers on the split push, but you're constantly getting mashed by Udyr. It is a lost cause in that manner.
Yeah, I mean, Udyr can take up basically all of Yone's damage right now. It does have the Hull Breaker, so is opting more towards that side laning oriented playstyle, but of course we saw bot on the Jinx also play it and obviously teamfight because it's Jinx. Sheer doesn't know. Alright, this tower's dead. Oh, maybe Jachi is too. Nice buffer from the Zenith Blade. That surely could have meant the AD carry going down and potentially disaster for RNG.
You know, it's a very funny piece of kind of thing you can kind of see on the map is that red buff has been alive for
Speaking of, they're going to get their first dragon, most likely, as Milky Way and the rest of RNG really focused around this Baron pit. Looks like they know that this is happening now as Tangyuan has joined the area and actually forces Sorrow out of the pit at least for a little bit. Now the rest of RNG wants to try to respond. FPX surely get this with the smite. Now the question is, can they get out with their lives? Not going to connect, so Tangyuan has to flash right back over the wall. Teleport comes in from Care. All 5 members of FPX in the mid lane, and they will all escape with their lives.
That was bold, Tongyun. He's like, hey, I'll just walk over this wall with my ult.
If you are FPX, Sorrow and the gang going to start it up. They think that they have the advantage in a potential fight. Milky Way in the area does still have the flash to get over the pit despite there being no blast cone in the vicinity. Baron at 9,000 HP. Looks like right now FPX are trying to bait a fight.
Okay, it's a pincer here.
Oh, big engage there for Lola. Xiaozu coming in here with the World Ender as well, but Jachi gets one shot. It's going to be a combination of Sorrow and the support, but look at the Requiem on the other side. That's a double kill for Milky Way, and RNG go 3 for 1. Sure, the ADC's down, but RNG have all 4 of the remaining members on the Baron on their own.
Now they have to reinforce with Tongyun coming in. I was going to say, Milky Way, you got no mana, brother. You do no damage to this objective. It'll take them a little bit to grab it, but now with this Baron buff in their pocket, they should be able to utilize this, move into some of their side lanes, push in, and...
Would have been nice to pick up that turret, but looks like that's not going to happen for a little bit. Question is, what can they do with this Baron buff that lasts for another 2 minutes? It looks like instead they just want to force another fight. Jue going forward. Solar Flare lands onto Jachi, but there's nobody to follow up, and instead it's just Leona going down for free. Xiaozu with the World Ender on is going to get singled out and taken down. It'll be Sorrow picking up the shutdown. Now it's a 4v4. Dragon spawning in less than a minute. Advantage in terms of players that are on the map in this 4v4 go to FPX.
Oh, Milky Way's got to be so careful.
Have teleport in 5 seconds once he respawns. There's a wave bottom if they want to go for an extended flank. Mid-prio now the name of the game as the Dragon has been started up by FPX. Teleport comes in straight through mid. It looks like Jiaozu and RNG going to try to utilize the last minute of their Baron buff to get a couple of objectives in response for the Dragon.
Is up and available again. They really just, guys, Jachi, do the thing.
One auto.
What?
That's all you need.
One auto. Milky Way knows. Milky Way just auto attack it, bro. Thank you. All right. So we finally got this top tier one, but in terms of what it actually team fight, and I will just say for both of these teams, it's been really impressive to see their bottom laners here, because we had a couple of questions as to whether or not how this matchup was going to look, where we're going to have 2 kind of scared AD carries to play, and we've seen both of them.
So there's not a ton of major objectives to fight for right now. Jachi has to rocket jump away as FPX have mid-prio and want to pick up this tier 3.
How much can they get for this? 5 grubs here. They'll open up the inhibitor at the very least. I don't know if they'll be able to finish off this entire inhibitor. Tongyun is coming back. Jachi's still not finished that recall. Milky Way is here to try to defend his base with the rest of the team. As 30 seconds before that Dragon, or before that Baron, huge thing to play for.
I'm just kind of confused why Lola decided to go at that moment. Ended up burning a chunk of his ADC's health bar, as well as just allowing that tier 3 turret to get destroyed because of it. Now FPX have themselves a little bit of a momentum shift in their favor. The goal is still very even. We're at that point in the game where everybody's at their core items. Teleport is coming in now here for Sheer. They know that this Baron is absolutely critical for them to force a game 5.
It's time to do the dance around this mid lane. Now Tongyun is trying to find Q3 over this wall. Gets it off of the Raptors, is able to push Sheer off. And maybe they just try to find Xiaozu to go and farm one of these waves. Finally, Milky Way invests the flash.
Yeah, because
and it's 45 seconds before another Dragon.
This game could have definitely been over. Q3 misses from Tongyun once again. The Nidalee Spears have 4 shouts to go back to base and teleport right back into the fight.
By having Care and Sheer on side lanes with 5 grubs and a Baron, they will open up this base and make it very difficult for the side of RNG to play this game. Tongyun is trying to find Q3, but he is in the bottom side. He's going to solo this objective. So RNG need to be creative and stop FPX from immediately obliterating this Baron.
And FPX know they gotta send this quick. Requiem comes out. Let's see how much damage it does. Not too much, especially with the healing and the spell shields. But
that's Mountain Soul
chunking things in. Mountain Soul now claimed. Can Tongyun get to the fight first? Lola starts the engage onto Care, but he's able to Valk away. Not a ton of follow-up off of the Alistar. The Baron is still alive.
Oh no, Jachi!
RNG should be able to get it. Jachi goes way too far forward, though, and will get shut down. It's a 4v5 on the map in favor of FPX. Milky Way has run out of mana. Milky Way is going to fall. The kill goes over to Care, and Tongyun has to ult away to sit.
Just enough damage from Jachi to stop him from taking him down, and then Jachi's just like, okay, I'm jumping forward, puts himself in a really bad spot. And that might just send us to game 5 here as FPX are now looking to push with this Baron buff and those 5 grubs.
It'll at least be the inhibitor. TongYuan doing a nice job to clear out the wave in mid to make sure it would be way too long until the next wave arrives.
And just decides to go for either the Zephyr or maybe even kind of going for the Merc Tread.
Look at Care!
Oh my god, Care!
Care's dead. TongYuan one-shot him with the Flash Ultimate. That is a big member for FunPlus Phoenix, down for the count for the next 55 seconds and change. 4v5 on the map. TongYuan sending his way back towards mid lane to clear this wave, try to pick up as many objectives as possible. The top lane inhibitor is dead, and mid lane wave is being escorted to try to make it a 2-for-1 special on the inhibs.
And all this time we've been talking about these 2 rookie AD carries, and it is TongYuan who finally finds his angle on this Yone. I mean, the franchise player coming in for RNG, he's been in their development pipeline for such a long time, and he's finally kind of making good. It is a single series that we've been able to see from him. It was a rough 2024. Hopefully with this new roster and this line.
Nice job by Sheer to hold the line at least for now as we await for these objectives to spawn.
Oh my god. This is insane. Like, we're getting a 43-minute game. We're having Elder spawn for the first time here in the LPL for 2025. Baron's up in 10. There are so many objectives. I think right now both teams are more important. You just have to go for this Elder. The fact that it has that execute, with how high damage both of these teams are, you just can't give it over to someone like Nidalee or this Karthus.
That's a big cooldown. Jue throws out the Solar Flare, does not hit anybody. They have to be very careful about the super minions in the top side. They are marching into the enemy base, and because of that, FPX must reset and seed the Elder Dragon over to RNG. It's going to be just bot there to clear things out. That Nexus turret is dead, and now look at TongYuan. Teleports are coming through. RNG might be trying to go for the throat. They have the executes at their disposal, but TongYuan taken down to 50% HP, and will have to back away with the Ignite ticking on top of him. He still has a teleport available if they want to try to go for the throat here. Instead, they also have the option potentially to go towards Baron, but no, they want this game, and they want it now.
They've got a Tristana. I think it's perfectly reasonable. TongYuan finishing off a Mercurial Scimitar. So he wants to make sure that he's off of this.
Gonna escort a wave of super minions in. A nice engagement roll up combined with a 2-man Fade Sealed. That is the Corki dead. That is Sorrow dead as well. And that will be the game. And that will be the series. Royal never give up. Have a royal start to 2025. And they win the first best of 5 in Group D.
It's a 3-1